What's going on? Y'all already know who it is. D5CV, the chef, whatever y'all want to call me. We here vibing, man. I have a toothache for these past 2 days. I've been, man, on pain. But this video is sponsored by Molit because we was chopping it up about the Wyckoff. This is something that's a little bit more complicated, advanced in a sense. So I'm gonna try to make the dummies version like Moonshot, right? But basically, let's start off with the guy who invented this. This guy was a pioneer in the early 20th centuries. He basically founded the magazine of Wall Street. He made this method, which I'm gonna show you guys in a second. And yeah, he's just the GOAT, right? So it all comes down to supply and demand. Oh, here it goes. So supply and demand. When something's oversold, demand is greater than supply, and then when it's overbought, supply is greater than demand. Mark up, mark down, and that's it, right? These areas, this is what you call a accumulation phase, or consolidation, whatever. Accumulation area, distribution area. A lot of people just say this consolidating because it's going sideways, right? But when it's on top is distribution, and when it's in the bottom is accumulation, oversold, overbought. And it also depends what time frame you're seeing it at. It's still the same concept, but just because it's oversold on the 3-minute, it doesn't mean it's oversold on the 1 hour. Just to get that out the way. So this is basically the Wyckoff method. You have the premillennial support, the selling climax. The everything, the SOS, the spring. This is very important. The spring in the test is very important. You got the SOS when this is chopped around like upside down. Because this is the accumulation one, right? I showed you there's accumulation and distribution. This will be sign of strength because it's going up, and the other one's sign of weakness because it's going down. This is the selling climax, and this is the buying climax, but everything else is basically the same. Resistance areas, spring testings, all that. So I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but let's go. Accumulation, so that's 2, and then distribution. You see, boom. You see sign of weakness, which I should say here, I don't know, yeah, sign of weakness, and then buy climax instead of selling climax. So that's the only thing that changes, and obviously the way you look at it, it's one's up and one's down. So what else is here? Anything useful? There's a lot of information. I'm just looking for key things. No, I don't know. Let's go right into the charts. I already have it open. We have to, for the naked eye, let me see. I have to. I already see one. Look, there's one right here. Let's go to the 1 hour. I already see one. Boom. This one's clear. Like, if I was to look at what you see here, and you look over here and look at these, watch. So this is beautiful. This is the distribution, right? Let's move this over here. Distribution, right? If you go to the accumulation. You see that? Now, they all vary. Everything, a lot of people don't like to trade it because it's either outdated or it's so old or whatever the case may be, but it's still there. Like, the reality is that it's there, right? So we have this is basically a cycle. You see it here, then it goes up. You see it here, then it goes down. You see it go up, and then it goes down. So this is the 1 hour. So there's more of these within the 30-minute. There's more of these within the 15-minute, 5 minutes. So it depends how you're looking at it. But let's just stick with this one. Right now, I told you there was something very important, which was the spring, right? So let's go with the spring. It's super little, and then the test, right? The testing. This is very, very complicated, and I'm just going straight through it. It's not gonna be, 100-minute video. So basically, these are like the key moments, right? Because most people trade this right here. This method right here, right? Hold on. This method right here, the spring and the test, because you have these areas where basically liquidity sitting, which is all of this, right? There's a lot of stop losses, a lot of orders in here, and you could tell because people are buying crazy and people are selling, but they're buying it back and people are selling and they're buying, so they're adding to their bags. The big market players, or the whatever you call them, the whales or the manipulators, etc. The money is basically accumulating. That's why it's the accumulation zone. And what they'll do is they'll accumulate, sell off because they have money to do so with buy orders, maybe to buy it up, run it up, and then that'll be the spring, because they need to push the money down in order to knock these people out and have money to go up, because they can't just put a limit order and it's going to get filled. If there's no money to fill it, it's not going to get filled. You can put $1 million order here, but if there's not $1 million going in, there's only $10 going in, that's what you're going to get, and within a limit order. So if you put an order here, right, you push the price down, you knock all these people out, and now for a buyer there has to be a seller. So that's how the game is played. They bring it down, they push it up, and then they retest it. You make a higher high, and you just run that baby up. And then when you see that it starts getting exhausted, it starts distributing, and now they start selling their positions little by little. So they started buying little by little here, and you can see it. And then they sold it off or whatever, and then they bought crazy, retested it, and then just pumped it, and then brought it back to this zone right here. Again, they had to pick up the money that's up here. So now the people that were probably with stop losses here on the way down, thinking that it was going to go even lower because they're expecting this move, they didn't expect it for it to go up first and then swipe and then come down, because they were probably looking at it in the 15-minute instead of looking at it in the 4-hour, because in the 4-hour, then you'll see something else, etc. So that's that. With that, let me see another area. Look, you can see basically not so clear there, but you can definitely see it here. Like there's no line, right? You can probably go in the chart and start looking. If I would have probably marked up a couple, but I'm pretty sure there's a few. It's just very complicated to just peep, Some, and they're not perfect. Like this could be one, but you know what I mean. They don't have to be exactly drawn how it is in the chart, in the drawing and the website. But anyways, yeah, that's that with the spring, right? But if you see it up here, you'll see the same thing. You see the accumulation phase. You basically see the spring. It comes down, it comes up, retest, and then pushes. So most people would just put an order here, because they know that it has to come near this area here, this gap right here. So sometimes it doesn't reach it. So you have to just always have to look at past price action and see where it's been rejecting over here, this and that, just to try to get a sniper entry. But you're usually not gonna get a sniper entry. Like you have to be very, 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 very talented for that. Like there's people that snipe these and they're all good, because once every retest it goes up, and then they'll add a position here. But this is risky, because if this retest doesn't happen, if this spring happens and not the retest, then you're just looking at probably this coming next, because this could be this part right here, and you don't know. Now having a retest gives you more, I guess it gives you a better hand, because it can still go down. It gives you a better handle to play with when you get an order here and put maybe your stop loss below this, which is probably risky. It depends how many pips and leverage you're working with, but you'll probably be in a better entry here to then ride it up and then come out your position however you want. Either you wait for this, or you just get out here and then wait for an entry here to sell off. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm not gonna get too into details, because it's very crazy. It gets very complicated. This is definitely not something I wanted to do. But Mo said it was good, so I said it was hood. Now we more lit. You already know.